Hello everybody, my name is HormigaZ's. If you don't know me, well, there's not much point for you to watch this video anyway, so I'm gonna be brief. I already told people that I would start this HormigaZ's Trashtalk in hour. I felt like it was needed, basically. I had some different plans for it. I was gonna work on some other topics, but some events kind of forced me to change the subject, given the name and what the goal is. Well, one of the first things that I wanna talk about in this Trashtalk hour is probably what is the things that I consider are hurting the game and are also hurting the community. And it has come to my notice in several occasions that nowadays people seem to have a problem with KD, seem to have a problem with people that can play on their own and be effective, and seem to overall have a really weird approach that I just don't share to FPS gaming. Problem started, as it often does with me, in Twitter. So I was basically answering to a tweet from a different person who was stating that it was impossible to win for players that were lone wolfing and that were not playing properly in domination. To which I replied that at least on PC, the platform that I know about, it was pretty much more than possible, and that most people that were just grouped up as randoms would have a really hard time, and my actual words were actually doomed. Yeah, bit arrogant, sorry about it, that's how I am. What I honestly didn't expect is all the flag that I basically woke up, and the first answer that I got was basically from a guy that confused my stats with the one from Sergeant Catchall, otherwise known as HormigaZ's support. And he told me that with my 2.38 kills per minute on my last BF1 matches, then I was not gonna be able to do that in BF1, because that's the game that we were talking about on the previous tweet. To which I answered even more arrogantly with a few screenshots that I had collected over the time. Have to be honest, not particularly special ones, just the ones that I sometimes do, because you want to have some kind of way to remember all this time you spent playing. But I don't usually make screenshots just because, oh, they're so good. Trust me, I don't. Anyway, I answered with a lot of screenshots that were really arrogant, and then this other guy came in and stated that, judging by the way I had a personal medic, then that he knew where the KD was coming from. I'm gonna just put up some of the screenshots so you can just see for yourself what pretty much the conversation started like, and if you want, you can actually go and check it on my Twitter. I don't wanna make this video full of screenshots, so yeah. Basically, if you read the whole thread of tweets, you'll see that this guy had several issues with me, which I can understand, or whatever, but that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is what I actually felt was the most insulting part of his whole argument, and that was that I was diminishing the value of team play when I stated that you could win a domination match alone, but that playing with this personal medic revive is artificially increasing my KD. So yeah, I honestly want to answer to these statements one by one. So I'll start with the first one, which is that I was diminishing the value of team play with my statement, and my answer is that I simply don't think that I was stating something that I consider true. As many of you know, I have played a lot of Battlefield 1. I'm one of the few people in the world that considered the game a game that was worth of playing competitive in. I actually was there from the very beginning in several teams. One of the things that we played was domination. So I'm kind of used to playing it in a competitive way, but also on top of that, Domination is alongside Frontlines, which came after the release of the game, and Team Deathmatch, which was something that I mainly played on the late stages of the game, where there was not much chances to get many servers. It's one of the game modes that I've played the most. I know what I'm saying, I mean, and maybe I am wrong, but I'm trying to express my opinion. That's how I see it. I've played plenty of domination matches, playing alone. Many of those were on streaming, and I am not exactly able to see how am I diminishing the value of team play, saying that a bunch of randoms don't really stand much chances against a really good competitive player. Which is, I guess, the case that we were thinking about when we state these kind of things. By the way, I missed one guy who was prone over there, noticed on the video. I actually think that the team play is really important on Battlefield, even more so on Battlefield B, but on Battlefield 1 also, like, you can get healing, you can get revived, you can get ammo, you can get support from your teammates, you can get suppression to the enemy from your teammates. Of course, team play is very relevant, but that doesn't change the fact that Battlefield has a really weak matchmaking method that will often pair players that have really different skill capabilities together in one server, and a really good server that is got like really good balance can still, in my opinion, be swayed on the outcome by one really good player, because again they are really scarce. The top 0.1 players are on top of another 1,000 or 999 players. So this is the kind of example that I'm thinking about, and that promotes that I say this kind of thing. Like, if you want to think about like a much more regular case, then you're right, and I'm not gonna deny that. But honestly, on Twitter you cannot go and say all the things that I said here. But anyway, so I want to be clear that the main reason that motivated what I said is just simply that impossible is a really absolute word, and I like to talk in precise terms. So that's the main thing, not any other reason. So that's that. I would like to tackle on the other topic that was mentioned, in which was mentioned that I artificially inflate my KD by playing with Sergeant Casual or HormigaZ's support. I find this to be from an insane hypocrisy, basically for the reason that the game is built to work around the team play, to work around squadding up with friends, and to do that with even more people than one just one friend like I do. The fact that for these people him having that name makes it so much worse is just completely meaningless to me. It's just basically the proof to what he told me, that that name would trigger people. That's truly honestly how I see it. It was also mentioned that he is just simply devoted to reviving me, and well, basically I just put up all this gameplay on the background so you can see what kind of matches we have together. Like, yeah, we play together a lot. We have a really solid team play at this point. In some ways, yes, he devotes a little bit to being able to revive me, in the way that he will try to remain on my back so he can have that chance and use smokes and be a little bit more cautious. But he would do that even if he was playing alone. Like, the fact that you think that he's doing this just simply because he's gonna increase my KD is just completely idiotic. Like, why would he play in a way that he doesn't have fun? What would be the goal? You think I pay this guy to be my medic or something? The reason that why he plays with me is just because he enjoys it, because he's had another experiences that he disliked with other people. This was the part that actually triggered me the most. You can question how I play, you can question the things that I value, you can question my attitude, but when you question this kind of stuff, it kind of gets to a point where I just think that what you want is to to be annoying. Like on this particular occasion, I'm slightly raging to my friend because he told me there's one guy, come revive me, and I came, killed 3 guys to revive him, struggled and almost got killed. So that's basically one of the kind of examples in which we play together. And in all honesty, I think that any squad of people that plays together tries to do exactly the same as we do, only not everyone achieves the same results. And that comes to a thing that we both talk about many times, in which we say that people is often not really interested in getting better or try harding at these kind of games. They play only to have fun, and they don't have the goals that motivate to do something else. So I understand that, but we don't enjoy playing with those, so we kind of seek for something else. And that's what, in the end, makes that we get better results. Even beyond what I said, basically, stats show that for every time that I get revived, I have already killed 8.9 people currently. Like, this stat will obviously change over time. Who knows if it will go up or it will go down. The thing, that's where it stands right now. And it's probably decently high. And I can say more, I've been revived almost the same times that I've been actually killed. But again, that only comes to prove that we really try to play together and we really use the tactics as well as we can. And if that is something that can be criticized because it's an artificial way of increasing my KD, then why don't other people do it? It's just available to other one, which will make it basically a fair round to others. And again, how does one guy make up, for example, having 3 more guys other than yourself in a squad? Again, the only answer that I find to these questions is just an insane amount of hypocrisy. But there's obviously the classical answer of, but KD doesn't contribute to victory, which is in itself a fallacy in my opinion, but I will comment on that later. I simply decided to answer that my win rate was this and was that, and that it was pretty good, and that doesn't come as a result of some kind of luck that places me into the winning match, but that is a result of actually getting that KD and doing things properly. I did also mention that besides all of those people that actually never try to get objectives, some people could actually help and could benefit of less idiotic PTFO overemphasizing that leads people often to do stupid stuff, such as pushing into objectives full of enemies in the wide open, and that result in them being killed. And that's what actually proves that KD matters. If you don't care for your deaths, if you decide to do stupid actions all the time, like I just did, pushing against a load of enemies, you are gonna get punished. If you then don't get help from a teammate like I did right now, then you're obviously hurting not just yourself and your KD, but you're hurting the whole team. You're gonna be away for 15 seconds until you can respawn. I don't really think that I need to explain this in that deep way, so it's understood in a less toxic way, if I can say it like that, or you can stop taking it as if I'm trying to be so toxic. That's what I mean. So even though what I meant is what I just mentioned, I still got a pretty salty reply that read, "Oh, those stupid idiots and their stupid actions to PTFO. KD matters. Do you need an even clearer dictionary-grade definition of toxic elitism?" Which was basically the very last thing that I was accused for, and to which I simply reply what I said on this video. Last and finally, I just wanted to comment on the last thing that was said about me, and that I simply identified myself by the KD, and that all my streams had my KD on it. To what I can only say that, yeah, it is true. I try to use that as something that people might be interested, because that's honestly what I'm able to offer. I'm not able to offer a really charming personality. I'm not able to do many other things. What I can offer is a gameplay that leads to that KD, and that's why I try to stick to some stuff that is like really factual and not like a pure clickbait. Like KD is a clickbait, but a clickbait which is true. And again, I can only feel like you see as my KD as some kind of offensive thing, or that I should not take pride, or I should not take pride because I have this medic. But again, it all comes down to what I have previously said on the video. I don't really know what else I have to do to prove myself other than have a competition. And it's not exactly like I'm not one of the guys that has tried to push for Battlefield to have a competitive as much as I can possibly do by myself. It's just that I don't have absolutely any means to push for it. So if it's not happening, that's on other people. In the end, I have to say that I don't really enjoy this kind of stuff, and this is not something I look forward to do when I think about the Trashtalk hour, but other stuff that I feel more relevant. At the same time, I do feel like I didn't start this, that I wanted my share about saying everything that I had to say, and in the end, you cannot really deny that this has been the purest form of Trashtalk that I could have possibly delivered. So, yep. I am HormigaZ's, this is the Trashtalk hour, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Arriba está.